This is Blackologist Professor Cross coming to you from Fort Washington, Maryland, right outside of Washington, D.C. at Blackology Research and Development Institute, Branch 1, in the Black diaspora within the United States. I come to you today not as a sociologist, psychologist, nor as an anthropologist. As a matter of fact, I do not come to you from any of the urological fields of studies. I come to you today as a Blackologist, an intellectual cultural scientist from the cultural science of Blackology. Blackology is defined as the scientific study of the evolution of Black African people and their culture. It is the perpetuation and utilization of the ideals, philosophies, theories, beliefs, concepts, and notions of their past and present life experience, and the spirit of their uncompromising struggle as their cultural knowledge. It is also the acclamation, affirmation, declaration, and proclamation of their wisdom, intellectual genius, creativity, and the Black story. Holistically, it is the manifestation of an authentic, autonomous, applied, Blackological, intellectual, cultural science, education, commerce. In order to be able to know what Blackology is, you first of all have to be able to know the lexicon. You must study our lexicon. Our lexicon is different from all other fields of studies. Our lexicon is a combination, a blending of Black African languages. In the research and study for the lexicon of Blackology, I studied Kiswahili, Hausa, Mandingo, Va, Ghanaian languages, Ghanaian symbols. I studied Medu Neter. I also studied, and this one here is going to shock some of you and even amaze you, the African language of Ebonics, which is a diasporan language. Specifically, the origin of that Ebonics began in the Black diaspora within the United States. The word was coined by Dr. Robert Williams from 1972 to 1975. But the culmination of these languages is where the development of our lexicon comes from. But Blackology is an authentic, autonomous, applied science. Our goal is the justice, redemption, you back that up. It is of, from, by, for, and about the justice, redemption, advancement of Black people, and the redevelopment of Black African culture. Blackology comes out of the 1960s through 1970s Black conscious movement, Black power movement, Pan-Africanist movement, Black nationalist movement. Blackology is an ideal whose time has come. In our lexicon, in order for you to know it, as I said, you got to be able to know our lexicon. Our lexicon is as such. Blacological lexicon itself is a word indeed that is of, from, by, for, and about the intellectual cultural science of Blackology. Blackological means of, from, by, for, and about the justice, redemption, advancement of Black people, and the redevelopment of Black African culture. We have words like intellectual, and let me say it slowly so you can understand and know and then spell it for you. The word intellectual is spelled capital N always, T-A-L-E-X-T-U-W-L, pronounced intellectual. That means the knowledge of our past and present Black culture developed through the science of Blackology. Our ideals, philosophies, theories, beliefs, concepts, and notions. And once again, the wisdom. Black African. Black African is spelled in Blackology, capital BLAC, capital AFRICAN. The lexicon, Blackology. We place BLAC. It is synonymous with Blackology, such as sociology, words that are SOC goes with sociology, and Blackology words begin our lexicon, words that are relevant and prevalent to our development begin with BLAC, Black African, capital, always capital, BLAC, capital AFRICAN. And then with Black Africa, capital BLAC, capital AFRICA. Also, capital BLAC, capital AFRICAN, Black African. Notice the spelling, there was no A in there. Where I learned this lexicon, what is relevant in some of the words like science, capital always, Z, C, Y, capital N, Z, Z. What I learned about Medu Neter was that it was words written without vowels. So some of our words are written without vowels, not all of them. But remember, this is an evolving, evolutionary cultural science. Blackology is. And then we have Blacological thought. Now, you know, Blackological, always, BLACOLOGICAL, Blackological thought. Now, thought has evolved from THOUGHT to capital THOUGHT to capital THULT. Remember, this is our lexicon. We are, not trying to be, proficient as far as the English spelling or the French spelling or words that are from our past, usurpation under colonialism. We are building intellectual cultural science, and this intellectual cultural science has its own lexicon. Now, every word, as I said again, is not spelt in the methodology or method or technique of the lexicon words, because we are an evolving evolutionary science. So now Black thought can also be capital BLAC, capital THOUGHT, or capital BLAC, capital THULT. This is our lexicon. What is challenging about the lexicon is that when people see it, some of them are very interested in it. It's attractive, even though some fear it because of their cultural conditioning under colonial linguistics, under colonial languages. They fear that those who colonized them will not accept the lexicon. So as a result, they are afraid that this lexicon will not be accepted by those who have colonized us. Then there's cultural science. Remember, cultural is still spelt, CULTURAL. But eventually, our research and study will provide us with Blacological lexicon that will spell the word according to our principles in how you write in Blackology. If you want to know how to write in Blackology, go to our webpage, click on words. There you will find the lexicon, the definitions of the words. You will have an idea about how to write in Blackology and why we write in Blackology the way we do, because we are a Blacological evolutionary intellectual cultural science. In the definition of Blackology, the first sentence, the first phase says the scientific study of the evolution. So whenever you want to know about Blackology and how to define Blackology, always go back to the definition. The definition will help you to be able to decipher, define, elaborate, and tell others how Blackology evolved, or where Blackology is, how you find Blackology, how did Blackology come about. Go to our webpage, blackology.com. You will find all the information that you need to know about Blackology. Now, Blackology is evolving, so there's always something new coming in Blackology. Blackology, once again, is the ideals, philosophies, theories, beliefs, concepts, and notions of our past and present life experience. Stage 2, and the spirit of their uncompromising struggle. Now, that all of this is important. This is why we talk Blackology. This is why we teach Blackology. This is why Blackology is necessary, because we're not the same that we were 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, not even 50 years ago. We are evolving people, not just in this Black diaspora within the United States, but the entire Black world, the entire Black universe is evolving. Now, we have to understand that Blackology was first read and studied in a Black history course. It didn't come out of sociology. It didn't come out of psychology. It did not come out of anthropology. It did not come out of any of the Eurological or Arabic fields of studies. Blackology came out of Black history, a course that I took in 1974 at Jean-Baptiste du Sable High School, is where I read the word Blackology, spelt in the Eurological way. Although the concept of Blackology itself was authentically autonomous, because it was developed from the ideals, the minds of the Black scholars. And so they spelt it Blackology. I've also seen it spelled Black-OlogY. So, but the word Blackology itself had not been defined until the beginning of the research and study of Blackology in Dallas, Texas, or Lancaster, Texas, by Blackologist Professor Cross. Now, this word professor, I want you to understand that in Blackology, professor is not the profession. The profession is Blackology, or the profession is Blackologist. We have recently acknowledged that when we say Blackologist, Dr. So-and-so, or Blackologist, Professor so-and-so, people will pick up the professor or the doctor as opposed to Blackologist, which is the profession. The field of Blackology has its own profession, its own professional. It has its own individual that perpetuates the field of study. It is self-determined. So its own self-determined profession is Blackologist. And the lexicon is spelled two ways: Blackologist and Blackolozt. ST is the profession. ZT is my name, Blackologist. That Blackologist name also is spelled BLACALOJZ, Blackologist. This is our lexicon we're talking about. Before you can know Blackology, you got to be able to know the lexicon. You can't define Blackology sociologically, psychologically, anthropologically. You have to define Blackology Blacological. And once again, to go back to the definition of Blackological, it is of, from, by, for, and about the justice, redemption, advancement of Black people, and the redevelopment of Black African culture. So the word Black intellectual, again, we've put the prefix BLAC, capital BLAC, capital NTLEXTUWL, Black intellectual. We have words from the research and study of Blackology to edify the research and the study and the science. Then there's Black intelligence. The lexicon will help you to be able to write in Blackology. In order to be a Blackologist, you have to write in Blackology. You have to write in the lexicon. You have to use the words. Those words that are significant to our individual self-determination as a culture and a people. You have to use words that define our autonomy. We have to develop our own words. We can't be afraid to develop words that are significant to our evolution autonomously, or we won't evolve. We can never be number one with anyone else until we are number one with ourselves. We have to be able to think for ourselves, do for ourselves. And nobody can do this for us. I heard Dr. Martin Luther King said he was Black and he was proud, and that nobody can do this for us but us. This is for Black people. This is for the Black culture. And I said Black people. I didn't say just for the Black man or the Black woman. It's for Black people. And Black people are defined. You can't be saying that you Black just because you got some DNA 4 centuries ago. Or you can't be saying you Black because you got some European, Asian, and some Black in you. And then when we see you, you dress like a European, you talk like a European, you act like a European, and then you say you Black so that you can benefit from the uncompromising struggle that has been ours for the last 400 years. And those things that we have accomplished in this Black diaspora and the entire Black world. So, Black is not just the color. It's not just your DNA. It's ideals, philosophies, theories, beliefs. It's traditions, values, customs. And when you know all of that, then you got to live by that. Blackological, not just DNA. Remember that. How to write in Blackology. Then here's something that's really, really, really relevant in terms of Blackology. Black story. When we talk about the Black story, we're talking about those stories that never made it to the European dictionary, that never made it to the European chronology, that never made it to the European history. When we talk about history, we see ourselves through the eyes of those who have colonized us. We see ourselves through colonialism. We do not see ourselves autonomously, authentically from a culture that is our own. Until we know how to think for ourselves, do for ourselves, and be ourselves, we're going to be caught in a given shuffle. We're going to be up the creek without a paddle. It's hard to undo the process of white supremacy racism when you don't know how to be of, from, by, for, and about Black African people and the redevelopment of their culture. When you don't know how to be Blacological, very important word. And when you don't know your own Black story, when you can't tell your story and then say it's a Black story and you have to say it history. Think about it, brothers and sisters. This is where we at right now. It's time for us to use our wisdom, intellectual genius, creativity, and build and manufacture and produce our own Black story. Black storical, Black storic, Black historiography. These are the lexicons of Blackology. In order for you to be able to talk about Blackology, know Blackology, you have to know the lexicon. Go to Blacology.com, click on words, read them, study them, and then you can be Blackologically astute, aware, and knowledgeable. Knowledge in Blackology is spelled N-A-H-L-E-J. And then there is the prefix capital B-L-A-C, capital N-A-H-L-E-J. Black knowledge. And here's another acronym. I am encouraged. I-A-M-N-C-G. The innovative, monolithic, intellectual, creative genius of all African people. Let me be specific, Black African people, because if you go to the land of Africa today, there are European Africans, Asian Africans, Arab Africans, biracial Africans, multiracial Africans, and the original people of the land, the Black Africans. And you find them in many different nations and people. Remember, Blackology is the scientific study of the evolution of Black African people. And the most significant word is Blackological. Negrological is another lexicon. Negrological comes out of the period at which we were named by those who culturally conditioned us to think and believe the way that they did, because when we were emancipated, we did not know very much about the environment we were emancipated in. So in order for us to survive as Negroes, we bought everything lock, stock, and barrel that they gave to us without question. We could not even answer in any way, shape, form, or fashion, but according to the colonialists who indoctrinated us. Negrological, following the color period, colorology or colorological, from the late 1800s to the 1900s, 1950s, 60s, we were negrological. In 1965, Floyd McKissick, Kwame Ture, and the Freedom Democratic Party movement declared and proclamation and proclaimed that we would no longer be Negroes anymore. And from that day on, we would be Black people. That's when we began our own cultural autonomy, our own vision. From that Black people came Afrocentricity, African-centered education. They're all a product of Pan-Africanism. And Blackology is a Afrocentric, Pan-African, African-centered, Black nationalist, intellectual, cultural science. Blackology is the product of those fields of studies. Remember, before you can know anything about Blackology, you have to know how to write in Blackology. You got to know the lexicon of Blackology. So today we have taught you about the lexicon of Blackology. Go to the web page, click on words, read it, learn the language, learn the terminology, learn what Blacological is. Because if you can't be Blackological, that's right, you ain't gonna be nothing. You're gonna be hop, skipping, and jumping to everything that everybody else says. And as a Blackologist, you must know that from Pan-Africanism, Negro nationalism, Black nationalism, Black power, and all of the ideals, philosophies, theories, beliefs, concepts, and notions of our past and present life experiences, handed down to us from one generation to the next, is how we have come to this point of the knowledge of Blackology. This is Blackologist Professor Cross, coming to you from the Black diaspora within the United States at Blackology TV Radio Network, right outside of Washington, D.C. in Prince George County. Blackology is an ideal whose time has come. I refuse to accept the ideal that the presence of urological scholars makes the Black scholar morally incapable of reaching up for the Black knowledge that forever confronts them. May the content of your character be the knowledge of your culture. Blackologist.com